I am looking this evening at different magazines that I take or I have been exposed um, to build a philosophy of life or a political understanding or spiritual understanding about different issues. I guess I'll start with Revival Fires. This is a fundamentalist Baptist newspaper. Its editor is Dr. Dennis Coral, and it is a King James based ministry. They've been involved with ministry for about 30 years. And this paper, I knew him in college, and it's called Revival Fires. And they stand, for evangelism, old-time Baptist, almost Pentecostal belief. And I'll read one paragraph from this. We believe in the only infallible Word of God, preserved in the English people in the authorized King James Version. Therefore, conclude that the King James Bible is unequivocally the inspired, preserved, inerrant, infallible Word of God. So this is a King James only newspaper, and Denny travels across the country, and there he is and his family and his wife, and he ate in my home. It's been 20 years ago. It's been over 20, but you'll find him at various conferences. Here's conferences, Revival Fires conferences that he goes to, or he leads them all over the country, and so he's not turning my phone. Anyway, he's down in Baton Rouge. He's been there. He's he's in Alabama. Revival. I've been in some good revivals at churches, and here's some books that he has written. Elements of Godly Character. Here's one on abortion. And then he'll have articles in here and written. And here are fundamentalist churches. Now, they're not as powerful or influential on the Southern Baptists as they were in the 70s and the 80s, the emerging church or the cultural church, but they're still around. And this is just some of the Revival Fires church directory. And how the church, here's one in Clay's Mill, I've been there, and here's more fundamentalists, churches and things of that nature. So, have you lost your vision? And here's Revival Fires on church directories. So this movement is not as strong as it was. Now, they would be a lot of the churches, the men would wear really strict haircuts, and the ladies would have dresses only. And another paper I take that's along this line is called The Sword of the Lord. I don't know if I can grab one or not, but I'll show you that, and then I'm going to end the broadcast. And I'm going to turn this back over. It's called Revival Fires. I may not be able to find The Sword of the Lord. I'm going to try to. Yeah, here is The Sword of the Lord. And this was edited by John R. Rice for a number of years. And Jack Hiles was on the board. The Sword of the Lord is another fundamentalist, and the editor for that is Dr. Shelton Smith, and there's a picture of him. This is a very conservative, King James only. People like Curtis Hudson and Lee Robertson and others. Now they've dropped Jack Hyles, but this is a very conservative group biblically. And here's an independent Baptist commentary by Dr. David, King James based, by David Sorensen. And I met him once at a Sword of the Lord conference. And so I'm going to end the broadcast. And I'm just showing you some fundamental papers. And here is Clay's Mill, Bus Ministry. That's Jeff Fugate. And so this has been an influence in my life in the past. The Bill Rice Ranch, I've been down there near Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And it's not been around them as much in the last years, but then they'll have news quotes in here in a college directory. Most of these colleges will be unaccredited, and they'll be real strict on dress codes. Very separated. In fact, that would be a keystone of their theology, would be separation from the world and things of the world and things of that nature. You know, come ye out from among, be ye separate, and touch not the unclean thing. So they're very separated, very biblically separated. So that's a couple of papers, and I'm going to end that. And I'll do a review on some other magazines.